All right. Ever tried to put together like one of those, really complicated IKEA furniture pieces,
Oh, yeah.
but the instructions look like they were drawn by, I don't know, like a 5-year-old or something?
Mm-hmm.
Frustrating, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine that feeling, but times 1,000.
Right.
And instead of a bookshelf, you're building a skyscraper.
Yeah.
That's kind of the pressure that construction estimators face, like every single day.
Wow.
And you're not going to believe this, but the secret weapon
Okay.
to avoiding massive, costly mistakes might be something as simple as a quick sketch.
Oh, interesting.
So today we are diving into some excerpts from a Gold Seal certification training series.
Okay.
And it turns out that freehand sketching, it's like a superpower for these folks.
That's cool. What's amazing is that even with all the technology we have today,
Right.
that humble pencil sketch, it still has a place, in construction.
I'm so intrigued. But okay, before we get into the why of sketching, let's
Yeah.
talk about this Gold Seal certification. What does it even mean? Like, what does it represent in the Canadian construction industry?
Yeah, so you can think about the Gold Seal certification as a mark of excellence for construction professionals.
Okay.
So it means they've met high standards when it comes to education, experience, and even like ethical conduct.
Right.
And the sketch training that we're looking at,
Yeah.
it's actually part of a larger program
Uh-huh.
that's designed to, help develop estimators that are really well-rounded.
So it's not just about the numbers.
Exactly.
It's about being like a true professional who can handle all the crazy complexities of a project,
Yeah, from all angles.
from all angles. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Let's do it.
Why is sketching so important in this world of construction estimating?
Imagine you're trying to build a really complicated roof, right?
Ugh.
Like multiple angles and intersections.
Mhm.
A blueprint, it might show you the
Right.
dimensions, but a sketch that can instantly clarify how everything comes together.
Oh, okay.
And that can actually prevent some pretty costly rework later on.
So it's kind of like bridging the gap
Yeah.
between like those super technical plans
Yeah.
and the actual, building process,
The real world, yeah.
the real world.
The source we're looking at, it lists out a bunch of benefits of sketching.
Okay.
And one that really stands out to me is something called take-off accuracy.
Take off accuracy.
Yeah, so estimators, they use this process to figure out exactly how much of each material they need.
Oh, okay.
So you don't end up with like 10,000 extra bricks
Right.
or run out of concrete halfway through pouring a foundation.
Oh my gosh, I can totally relate to that. I've had like little DIY projects at home
Yeah,
go completely sideways because I totally messed up the material calculations.
it happens.
Can't even imagine that on a skyscraper scale.
Yeah, that's a whole other level.
That's a whole other level.
And that's where the sketch comes in. Like, let's say you're estimating concrete for a foundation, right? A quick sketch that helps you visualize all the different parts.
Oh, okay.
And that way you don't miss any areas in your calculations.
Makes sense.
And you avoid ordering way too much or not enough.
So it's kind of like that saying, measure twice, cut once,
Exactly.
but like for the whole project.
For the whole thing.
The source also talks about how sketching improves communication with like the trades and suppliers.
Right, because think about it.
Yeah.
You're trying to explain a really complicated installation to a subcontractor, and you're doing it over the phone.
Yeah.
How much easier is it if you can just send them a quick sketch,
Oh, yeah.
along with what you're saying?
Totally.
It's like you're giving everyone a shared visual language.
Oh my gosh. You know what that reminds me of?
Yeah.
I had this plumbing issue at my house a while back,
Oh, no.
and I was trying to explain it to the plumber over the phone.
Uh-oh.
It was a disaster.
Yeah, I bet.
Until I finally just like drew a little diagram,
That's what you gotta do.
and then it's like,
Mm.
oh, okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Speaking of real world, like problem solving,
Yeah.
I remember reading that you once used a sketch to save the day on a job site.
Oh, yeah, I totally did.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we were working on this project, and we ran into this issue with the soil.
Okay.
During excavation, it was totally unexpected.
Uh-huh.
And so we're, kind of standing around trying to figure out what to do. And
Yeah.
I just grabbed like a piece of paper, did a quick sketch of what was going on, showed it to the engineer.
Yeah.
And we were able to, brainstorm solutions right there on the spot.
Wow.
And it actually ended up preventing a huge delay.
So the sketch was like a hero.
The sketch saved the day, for sure.
Okay, so we've talked about how important sketching is,
Yeah.
but I'm not an artist,
Right.
What makes a good sketch in this context?
Well, the good news is you don't have to be like Michelangelo or anything.
Okay, good.
The key things are proportional accuracy.
So basically, the elements in your sketch, they should be relatively realistic in proportion to each other, even if it's not like perfectly to scale.
Got it.
And then clear annotations are super important.
Annotations.
Yeah, like labels, dimensions, arrows, anything that makes it instantly clear what you're trying to show.
So like stick figures are okay
Totally fine.
as long as they're like well labeled.
Exactly. The labels, they do the heavy lifting.
Okay, perfect. So now the source also mentions some things specific to Canada,
Oh, right.
like something about pre-tender site visits.
Yeah, so in Canada, before even bidding on a project,
Right.
estimators will often go and visit the actual site. And sketching, that helps them document like important site conditions.
Okay, so it's like taking visual notes during a site visit.
Exactly.
Interesting. And how does all this fit in with like official contracts and documentation and stuff?
Well, in Canada, we often use these standardized contracts called
Yeah.
CCDC contracts.
CCDs.
And you're not going to believe this, but sketching directly on these documents
You what?
to like clarify things or propose changes,
Okay.
it's totally acceptable.
You're saying I can like legally doodle on a contract?
Hold on. It's not about doodling.
Okay.
It's about using sketches as a tool to make things clearer.
Right, okay.
Make sure everyone's on the same page about what's supposed to happen.
Gotcha. Okay.
Communication is key.
Communication is key. Okay, so now what about those request for information things?
Oh, yeah, RFIs.
RFIs.
Yeah, so an RFI, that's basically a formal request
Okay.
to get some clarification when something in the plans isn't clear.
Mm-hmm.
And including a sketch with an RFI,
Yeah.
that can make things way faster
Oh, okay.
because it gives everyone like a visual reference point.
That makes sense, yeah.
Visuals are powerful.
Powerful.
They are.
Speaking of powerful visuals, the source talked about this case involving a column base plate.
Oh, right, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so this estimator was going through a CCDC contract,
Okay.
and they noticed this discrepancy in the details for a column base plate.
Right.
So instead of waiting for like revised drawings and all that,
Yeah.
they just quickly sketched out the base plate with all the dimensions and anchoring that they thought was, the right way to do it.
Okay.
And that simple sketch, it opened up a conversation with the structural engineer, the subcontractors,
Yeah.
and they were able to figure it all out.
Wow.
And it actually prevented a mistake that could have been like really disastrous and expensive.
A simple sketch, like save the day.
Pretty much.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
It really shows how important sketching is.
for sure.
Like for anyone who's involved in construction,
Absolutely.
it's all about that clear communication, right? And efficient problem solving
Exactly.
and ultimately, building things the right way.
Building things right, that's the goal.
Who knew that something as simple as a sketch could have so much power in this world?
It's kind of surprising, right?
Yeah. It's like this hidden language of the construction industry.
It really is.
I challenge you, dear listener, to think about areas in your own life
Yeah,
where a quick sketch could help you communicate better
good idea.
or even solve a problem.
I like it.
You might be surprised at how effective it can be.
You never know.
And if you are as fascinated by this world of construction as we are,
As I am.
make sure to subscribe to The Deep Dive for more.
More deep dive.
More deep dives. We will see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.